All right. Thank you for showing up. I'm Daniel Norton. Welcome to OnSet. For everybody online, we just have an AI audience. No. So welcome here. Welcome back. It's been a little while. Marissa hasn't been here in a while. I haven't been in here in a little while. And we're going to talk about low-key lighting. It's kind of a fun subject because there's always this thought, right? You've got low-key and you've got high-key. And I used to combine them, low-key and high-key, but then I realized I could milk this into 2 demos. So right now you're getting low-key, and if we do well, maybe you'll get high-key next time. No, but so high-key lighting, we'll start there, is basically flat lighting, right? A lot of people immediately associate when they see low-key and high-key with the high-key situation is a bright white background. I don't know why I got all excited. And low-key is a black background. While that's often the case, or you see that a lot, that's not really the definition. The definition is actually that low-key is flatter, right? It's a contrast ratio. So with low-key lighting, you have flatter light. It's a lower contrast overall in your entire scene. So think of a sitcom. Do they still have sitcoms on TV? You know, where people move around the state. This light here, right? Where it's pretty even wherever I move. That's basically high-key. We don't have a white background. It's not blown out. I'm not on the beach glamorous. But that's basically, low-key is when it's tighter, when it's more contrasty, and you've got a higher ratio of contrast. So usually you use a dark background. We don't have to, though. For instance, a silhouette, right, would be low-key because a silhouette is incredibly high contrast. Blew your mind. Blew Marissa's mind. But we're not going to shoot silhouettes today. We're going to actually shoot on a black background because that's the easiest thing to do, to demonstrate. Now, we'll go kind of somewhere in the middle. This is gray. It's fashion gray. It's not fashion gray. I asked fashion gray.
Oh, don't. Do not.
But I'm only allotted 1 roll of paper per year, and I guess we're not up to the paper roll yet. So when there's like just strips hanging off the bottom of it, that's when they give me a new roll.
For the rec, I was, I had a roll of paper for. I don't want to start this.
Seth's over here killing me. So we're going to basically start off the way that we always do. We're going to walk through the lighting process, get a decent exposure, and then we'll start working with the contrast so we can create what is effectively a low-key image. I will do my best to say the equipment I'm using as I go through this, but if you have a question, please do ask. In other words, I'll say it once at the beginning, then I will forget. So this is a Nikon. It's a Z6ii. Apparently, I've been told every day that I see Seth, there's a Z6ii, so I'll have to open it. This is Z6ii. With a 24 to 120 lens. It's a good kind of general lens to use. I use it for all the demos because I can get a lot of different looks. For lighting, we're going to use Profoto B10x pluses. These are flashes that are battery powered. We're going to work with 2 of them today, probably. But we'll start with this first one, which just has, actually, I'll use the softbox. You know what? I'll use no modifier. That's what the kids do, right, Marissa? When you see all the cool fashion kids, they have no modifier. So basically, one of the things we want to do when we're lighting in photography, or just in general, is we want to control our space, right? We use flash because it's incredibly powerful, right? Here we are, just like you probably are at home, with a lot of lights lighting you all the time, and cameras up phoning at you, and we need to get rid of that light, because if I just start shooting pictures now, Marissa will look lit for this, and I'm shooting her that way, right? So that might not be ideal. So I want to remove that light from the space. In your case, you might not have beautiful studio light. You might have terrible light like in the back of the store. Sorry, store lighting guy. You might have, you're under a street lamp. You might be out in the sun. Flash is all about, or lighting in photography is all about control and shaping and creating the image that you want. It's not about exposure. When people start to use light, that's the first thing they think of. They're like, it's dark, I need light. But that's not really what we're lighting. I mean, yes, obviously that can help there, but we're lighting for the ability to shape and control to create the image that we want. And this is where low-key lighting is really interesting because it's about shape and tone. So with that being said, did I already say this was Nikon? I did, right? Okay. They pay me 5 cents every time I say it, so that's 10 cents for me. All right, so I've got my camera. I'm basically I have the flash thing on top of the camera. So if I look through my camera now, I'm set at 200th of a second at ISO 100, which is the fastest shutter speed my camera goes in when I use flash. High speed sync, again, another demo. I gotta get paid somehow, right? ISO 100, so I have the least amount of noise with this camera. It's where I shoot most of the time. The cool kids shoot at 200 for some reason, but I'm not cool, so 100 for me. And I'm gonna set my f-stop based on the amount of light in the space. Now, you also want to consider, of course, how much depth of field you want, but you know, this gray background doesn't have a whole lot of bokeh no matter what I set my camera at, so that doesn't really matter for me. I want enough depth of field to keep Marissa in focus, so I'm not just, focused on the tip of her nose or her eyeballs and the rest of her's out of focus. I want a good focus. So 7.1 is where I'm set. That's probably a good place to start. When I look through the back of my camera, what I see is basically nothing. And what I can do is just take a shot and see what that will look like. I'm over here in capture 1, and we can see, and if I was lying about my settings, you'd know because they're over here, but I wasn't. We see a black frame. This black frame is important. And if I ever just see you shooting randomly and I come and I look at your computer and you don't have a black frame, I'm going to say something and be like, hey, what about the black frame? But what this is for is we're establishing basically where the shadow is, right? Where the absolute depth is. So when we grab my adjustment slider here and I bring it over, I can see when we start seeing Marissa around here, her skin tone, a little bit more than that, we're just about 2 stops underexposed. That's about where you want to be, that or more, because that'll gives us room to move a little bit, right? We want a ratio in our shadows, and we don't want to have our shadows pick up this ambient light because our ambient light is not something we like for the shot, right? So at these settings, 7.1, and I could go to f8 if I wanted to, 200th of a second, 100 ISO, I'm getting a black frame. Now we use flash, right? Because the flash is going to give us an exposure. So I turn on my little guy here. All right, I'm in TTL. So TTL is basically an automatic exposure. It's not automatic because obviously I have my camera set the way I want it. But it's making an automatic exposure. What's happening is a little tiny photo assistant is gonna run from the light, measure Marissa, and then come back and tell this little remote, which is then gonna talk to the camera, and we're gonna get a proper exposure. Is it gonna look good? Maybe. Wow, you have a lot more confidence than me. It's probably not gonna look great. I kind of just put the light on the stand and pointed it over here, but we'll have an exposure and it should be pretty decent. So let's see what happens. And there she is, right? Well, that's great light, right? But what we have here is an exposure. It's correct. We look at her skin tone, then we look at Marissa. And that's what she looks like, right? Like, how do you know if you have the right exposure? Well, people ask me this all the time. It looks right to me. So this is correct, right? Is it good? Is it pretty? Does it work? No, right? But it's the correct exposure. So TTL did its job. That's all it's there for. The rest of it is up to us. We have a lot to work with here. So there's lots of stuff that's wrong with this or that's going to affect us when we're trying to create our low key image. One is that even though this light is small, so it's hard, right? So hard light you think would be great because hard light shadow, right? Hard light is shadow transition. It doesn't mean there's going to be shadow. The light is far away. The light is spreading out. Marissa's close to the background. All this is creating an even light on the background, which is why it's perfectly exposed, right? She's perfectly exposed. The background's perfectly exposed. In fact, if I were to do this, I'm going to use the crop tool. This is a great crop right here. I mean, in some ways, oh, I don't know what that is. In some ways, that's actually kind of a high key picture, right? Based on what I said before, high key is low contrast, except for the nose light, right? She's evenly exposed, so is the background. It's not what we want, right? Hard light, what are we doing here? So we need to shape our light. We need to consider a few things. One is going to be the inverse square law. It's important to mention this whenever you're doing any photography. Clients like it. You just, they'll be like, what are you doing? Inverse square law. Don't worry about it. They don't know what it means. Nobody really knows, except everybody. But, every photographer. We're the only ones that talk about it. It's a conspiracy. But we're going to basically use the inverse square law. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to think about the ratio between the camera distance. Well, why does camera distance matter? It doesn't. Let's move the camera. We're going to think about the ratio between the light distance in Marissa and the light distance in the wall. The closer the light is to Marissa, the brighter she'll be. The closer the light is to the wall, the brighter it will be, right? Right. I had this, my Massachusetts came out there. So if I move you forward, Now, even more so. Now the light is close to Marissa. That makes her bright, right? But what is it from the wall? Far, right? Which means the wall is going to be relatively darker. So I'm also going to point it down a little bit so it doesn't look too terrible. I'm only allowed to take so many terrible shots of Marissa per our contract. So, I mean, this is not going to be bad, but so we're going to basically move away from the wall. Now, again, because of this modifier, and we'll talk about this in a second, the light's still going to spill. It's not going to be exactly what we're trying to set up here, but we're going to do our best. Did you put on heels? She did. She tries to look to be taller than me in the videos. All right. Everybody that's here in person knows Marissa's only like this tall, but she puts on these heels so she looks taller. Okay, so we framed it up a little bit better. Appropriately cut off the top of her head. The light is closer to her. It's far from the background. We'll take a shot. We're in TTL, right? So we still have a nice exposure on her skin tone, right? That's still a good exposure. It feels a little bit poppier, even though it's still the correct exposure. Again, I can look. That's what she looks like, right? But she feels brighter, right? We feel like she's more contrasty. And why is that? Because the background's dark. That's right. Contrast, right? We're creating contrast using basically distance, right? The distance of the light from the subject and the distance of the light from the background, the ratio of those two things. That is key, to doing this low-key kind of light. We've got to control our distances so we can control exposure. Now, you could just do this, and you could be like, I'm cool, I just don't use modifiers. But when you really become cool, you start using modifiers. Why? Because they're expensive and you like to talk about it. This beauty dish, by the way, is one of the most expensive modifiers I could buy. Beauty dish is going to be good for what we want to do because of its nature, and the fact I have a grid on it, it's going to help us really control the spread of light. It's also going to make the light larger because when light hits a modifier, the size of the light source becomes the size of the modifier. We don't want the light to be super hard on Marissa's face because we want it to, kind of be a little bit more subtle. So this is 22 inches. Marissa's head, no, I don't know the measurement of Marissa's head, but if we just hold it next to her, is a little bit smaller than that. Bigger than her head, soft. No, we're not going to measure Marissa's head.
Look at about 7 1/4.
All right.
That's like bigger than average, probably.
Yeah. So the modifier is 3 times the size of Marissa's head. All right.
I have a large hand.
Right. Right.
I feel like most actors aim to have a larger head of some type.
Yeah, well, your head is larger than it looks bigger on screen.
It is your palate.
All right. So come a little closer where you were. All right. So we've got Marissa in here. I add the modifier. It's slightly in the shot. I'm not Helmet Newton. So I'm going to back it up a little bit. I wish. All right. Although I wouldn't be alive anymore. All right. So now, larger modifier. Same distance roughly. Let's try again. Oh, that is going to be out of focus because I jumped the gun. But we can see. Let me get one in focus. Okay. We can see now we have a softer light source on her face, a little bit more gentle, right? She's not as suspicious as she is there. Now she's more like, oh, and actually the background's even darker. And the background's darker because I'm controlling the spread of light. The grid controls the spread of light. Does putting it inside the modifier make it cut down the amount of light? Does it versus the direct head? Yes. Does the grid cut down the amount of light? Yes, but guess what? I don't have to think about that. I got TTL. So it's compensated. It's working for me right now, and we're getting a good shot. It's simple to do, and now we have a nice high contrast shot relatively. It's still a little flat on her face and a little kind of basic, but it works, right? Right? You're nodding slowly, so I think you understand. Oh, that's us talking. Any questions, thoughts, concerns? I'm probably going fast because they just gave me coffee. All right. Moving forward, no questions.
Well, we got over 200 people in the chat, but only 90 likes. I need Dan to be is paid in likes. Just so
I
you
am
know,
paid in
so-
likes. Likes and nickels from Profoto.
And if you're new here, hit subscribe because he does this.
Every once in a while, I'll do
Like
this.
15 years of this.
I've been doing it for a long time. All right, so let's create a little more contrast. So the other thing we can do to create contrast, if you notice, because perhaps you were paying attention, Marissa has, pretty correctly for most kind of beauty photography, turned her face to match the modifier. When a subject's face matches the modifier, the shadows will fall very pleasantly across their face, right? If the shadow, because basically they're going straight back, right? Straight back means you're going to get nice cheekbones. You're going to, get all the good stuff that you get in a beauty shot. But if we want to add drama, we're not creating more shadow. We're just changing where the shadow is, which is basically if we ever look at the camera, and this might be too much, but we'll see. We're going to throw shadow on one side of her face, right? A bit of shadow, not too much because of the position of the light. And she's got a little attitude. She's changing her attitude to match the, oh no, did I break it? Nope, there it is. Okay, I didn't think so. We have a little bit of shadow on this side of her face, but it's not going like Rembrandt style, as they say. Who says that? Do you say it? You better not say it. All right. Because the light's too far in front of her, right? Look at where the light is. We can see, this is the thing, like when you're lighting, and you notice I'm not using modeling lights because it's so bright in here, it'd be hard to really see it. But just look at where your light is. We can see this large light, and where's most of it going? It's going past her, called feathering, right? Which is usually really good. But for this, we're getting this flat light on her face. We want contrast. You came here for contrast. You were like, I want contrast, right? Did you raise your hand or you were just like, yeah? All right, good. Yeah, they want contrast. So in order to create contrast, we have to make it so that less light gets on this side of her face, okay? So how can we do that? If you didn't want to move your light like you were lazy, let's say like I am, you could have her take a step forward, let's say, so the position of the light would go further back. But I can't really do that because my lens would then be up her nose, and we don't have enough space, exactly. We don't really want that. So we'll leave her where she is, and I'll move the light. This is why you need roller stands when you get old like me. So we're going to do a couple things. I'm going to take this beauty dished Profoto light, beauty dished. Is that a descriptor? And I'm going to move it more to the side. And I will just turn the modeling lens so you guys can see. I don't know if they can actually see that or not. Can you look towards the camera? Oh, you know how you'll see it? Technology, man. Watch this. Watch this. All right, so I'm looking through the camera now. I know what you're saying. You're like, what? But I have the flash on. So basically what's happening is it's doing the fake exposure, as I call it. That's the real exposure. So it's going to be hard to see, but we can kind of see the position of the light better. Yeah.
Turn back on.
There we go. You can see it a bit. We still get a bit. It's compensating for the room basically, but we can see at least the position of the monolight. I'm going to turn it for you guys. Look straight forward. You can see the light moving like this. I don't know how easy that is to see, but there we go. That's a little better. You can probably see that. Do you feel like you're in a Rembrandt painting? Okay. All right, so now we have an idea that we're able to create some shadow here, right? So if Marissa's looking more towards the camera, we can see it's still a lot on that side of her face, but we can see we're getting more shadow. So we can bring the lights back up. Thank you, Seth. Let's take a shot with the flash. That's what we're here for. Right? Contrast. This is one reason why, by the way, that I shoot tethered. Because it's hard to tell on the back of your screen of your camera, or even sometimes in a space where it's brightly lit, what the flash is really going to do. You have an idea. You've been doing this long enough. Like Seth's been doing it for a long time. I'm just a child. Once you've been doing it for a long time, he's just unnaturally aged me.
Oh my God.
You kind of feel where the light is. But take shots. It's digital. It's basically free to keep shooting. Nobody cares about shutter counts anymore. Or do you? All right. So we're creating a little contrast here, and it's nice. I feel like that side of her face is still a little bit hot. It'd be cool. We have time, right? You guys aren't going anywhere, are you? Do we have diffusion?
I got a sheet of it.
Yes. Let me have your diffusion for a second.
Wait, no, not that.
No, okay, no. Oh, not that diffusion.
It's not big enough.
Oh, it's not big enough. That diffusion is not big enough. I'm only repeating Seth because they can't hear online probably when he talks. Thank you.
Don't wreck that.
I'm not going to wreck this. I am totally going to wreck it. All right. Okay. You know how when you get a poster, do people still buy posters?
Do people pull up walls? What's going on?
I mean, I don't know. They use like digital art now.
Wait.
Oh, was it a full? Oh, perfect. Okay.
Or this is super thin though.
No, I want to kind of block part of the light. So this is a full diffusion. That's what it looks like. And what we're going to do, oh, the poster thing. So you guys were like, I left you hanging. You end up with get a poster and you get one of these things and then you're like, I might need that someday. And then you go clean your closet like a couple years later and you're like, why do I still have this? And then clearly I still have some from the last time I bought a poster and I was asking if people still buy posters. This is a piece of diffusion. Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, don't wreck it, please.
I'm not wrecking it.
It's like the best piece I ever.
This is a Lee 129. Yeah, and what we're going to do is we're going to cover just part of this. Now, the reason why I'm using diffusion and not like cinefoil is because I want the light to kind of gradually go across her face. I just want to break that highlight down. Remember that, well, you're getting an extra lesson here. I got to break these into more demos. I won't be able to do the whole year. Hardness and softness of your light is determined by the size. Hardness and softness talks about shadow transition, right? So we all know that. I say it every single time. Diffusion and specularity deal with your highlight. So if I want to gradually bring my highlight across, a little bit of diffusion on the light can help it. It's going to be subtle, but the client sees you doing all this work, they'll pay for it. Just be like, oh, I got to put some diffusion on this light. Don't worry about it. Can we get it on half the light or it's not going to happen?
I bought this on a different beauty dish. That's why. So the clips don't work.
Yeah, but we could just get it on part of it though. I just want it on this part.
What, on
I just want, yeah, just half of the back of it. The back half. Because I want it to basically tone down.
You want to do this?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry.
We used to do this with paper towels, remember?
Yes. You can really do this with just about anything. Now, what's the advantage of buying an actual piece of diffusion? Who knows that? You all know why. You've used a paper towel, haven't you? The reason why you buy actual things is for consistency, right? Like you can get by and you'll see all this DIY stuff and we all do it. We're all on set somewhere. Earlier, literally, I was taking a photo upstairs and I used a piece, a Chinese food box container because it was there.
In my defense, it was the best Chinese food container I've ever seen bounce light.
It was really
It was really good.
But there it was. It was something that was white and I needed just a little bit of kick in and I just held it up and sadly, there was no food in it, so or maybe good. Yeah, it was a great box, but the thing is that will always work. However, if I want to repeat that, unless I keep that same box, right, you're just not going to be able to. So getting a consistent piece of diffusion is important if you see yourself doing this a lot. But you can just use whatever, and you can, and we do, use whatever. All right.
Could mount it on an arm, so it's...
No, it's fine. This is going to be super subtle anyways. Oh yeah, look at that. Whenever you make a change that's subtle, look at the computer when the client sees it and go, oh yeah, look at that. It's important. They can't see the difference, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's very subtle. It's really around our ear that we're looking for a difference. Yeah, it's very subtle. It may barely be worth it. Okay, so bring your face back this way a little bit. This is one of those situations, by the way, where I should not have left it in TTL. Yeah, because the diffusion affected my exposure. All right, there's a question in the chat.
So Robert Burns is asking, what are your thoughts on shoulders facing the light or turned away from the light? Oh, controversial.
What are my thoughts about shoulders towards the light or away? It kind of depends on where the face is. Some people, it's good to create angles, okay? So when you're posing somebody, by the way, next week, is that going to be streamed? It is, right? On Wednesday, there's going to be a posing
yeah, Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, Michelle Harris, 48 poses, 8 minutes.
Right. So I'm not doing a whole pose thing here, but generally speaking, when you're posing people, you want to create shapes, right? So I'm sure, I haven't been to the class obviously because it's in the future and I'm from the future. I'm sure if you just put somebody straight onto the camera like this, you're just flat on. As soon as you start to turn, right? You create a shape. Now as a shape. So even if I do this as a shape, but if I do this as an extra shape, right? And if I do this, there's even more. Here I'm posing for you guys. And this is why we do this. There's all kinds of names for things, and I never remember them. But the reality is that that's all you're doing. You're creating shape. So whether or not the shoulder should be towards the camera or away comes down to where the head is. If you're trying to create more shape, then I would say it should be toward, I mean, if the light's, sorry, was it towards the light, not the camera? I said camera. Whether the light should be, the shoulder should be towards the light or away from it depends on where the head is. So I guess that's a long answer to a short question.
And Joel's asking, why not use a softbox at the same size?
Why not use a softbox instead of a beauty dish? Well, there's two reasons. Number one, I don't have a softbox that's the same size, right? Second thing is that a beauty dish creates a pretty unique light. Because of the nature of the deflector and the shape of the beauty dish, it creates a very flat light. Like flat meaning that it's even. Whereas a softbox, especially small softboxes, tend to sometimes be a little bit uneven. Not all softboxes. I'm sure Profoto softboxes are not uneven at all. But when you get real close to somebody with a softbox, it can feel a little uneven, which is great, and which is why softboxes are often used for portraits, because the slight unevenness of the light is actually a benefit because it feels more organic and more natural. I don't want anything organic or natural here. We have Marissa. she's neither organic nor natural. All right. All right. All right, back into it. Here we go. All right, I went to manual and I just tried to go back to where I was. Let me just do a quick little readjustment here. So I'm not gonna spend the whole demo messing with this, but okay. There we go. All right, so now, again, it is the subtlest thing, but it's just a tiny bit more. If you look on her face, you see how like the highlights down a smidge? That's because of the diffusion. The top one's without the diffusion. See the difference? It's also wrapping a little bit more because when you put diffusion in front of a grid, you lose a little bit of the grid's effect, which is why you really shouldn't do it, but I was, shouldn't do it, right? In the rules of photography. Putting diffusion in front of a grid kind of defeats the purpose of the grid because it starts to spread the light back out. So I lost a little bit of my contrast. So it comes down to whether or not you want that, right? It's up to you. Do you want the more contrast or do you want the more subtlety in the highlight? You could do either one. But for now, let's leave it on there. And I'll try to supplement by just going a little more sideways with my light. Okay, we're gonna try to split the difference here. You don't wanna go too far back with your light because then you starts looking funny on the eye towards the camera. Okay, so at me, eyes, perfect. Beautiful. All right, there we go. Oh, now we're back to where I want it to be, and we're creating a nice kind of even light. I am in manual, as I said, so as I start to do things with the light, I have to be careful to not move it too far or too close to the subject. I have to try to keep that same distance, otherwise I'm gonna change my exposure. When I say manual, I mean manual on the light, not manual on the camera. The camera's been on manual the whole time, right? That makes sense? Any questions? No. All right, let's bring in a second light. Because as we know, the more lights that you use, the more you get paid. So you could use two with the same modifier. People you want to mix it up a little bit. If you start using all the same modifier, people are like, oh, you're just using the same light. This one's got a different modifier in it. It's a strip box. We like strip boxes. They're skinny. So a strip box is basically designed to have that nice large size that a softbox has, right? And so it's soft, but also be skinny so it helps control where it falls, which is going to work for us because we're trying to control the light falling, right? I have a grid on this one. Egg crate grid as it would be. And that's going to help that even more. I'm going to have you turn, yeah, exactly. I'm going to have you turn, actually, bring your face almost looking towards Seth. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do here is actually do a bit of something more, let's start off simple. Should we start off simple or should we just go for it?
Go. I think that's
All right. We're just going for it. Teresa, I warned you. The audience asked for it. Okay.
Listen to this audience roar. They're asking for everything. They just won't stay quiet. Doesn't feel the energy in here. Don't you feel the energy?
I can feel the energy.
Feel the energy.
Seth likes when people yell at him, but that makes me nervous.
It makes me nervous when there isn't yelling.
Yes. Well, you are from Brooklyn.
It's how we show love.
Yes. All right. All right. It's always important to slap the softbox. I don't know why I did that. It looks kind of weird. All right, before I do anything, I was gonna do a basic hair light to start off and kind of edge my way into it, but I think I got to get a little wilder because you guys are on fire over here. So we're gonna have Marissa look that way, right? And we're gonna make a shot. So, oh, I turned both lights on. Don't look at this. Don't look at this. Okay, what's that?
Looks like I have a unibrow.
It does. You do have a unibrow. All right. All right. So nobody saw that. I deleted it really quickly. All right. So I'm going to turn up the light in the back.
Been a while, huh, Dan?
Oh, I'm getting old. All right.
Do I have to do this demo over for you next week? Is that what's going to have to happen?
I think you're going to have to, yeah. All right. So, yeah. So what happened was, and it was on me. I turned the light on the back of the light instead of on the controller, so it was confused. So let me just check. Oh, I am. I'm controlling both lights from here. I'm also controlling people's lights down the street. That's demo.
I will say I was impressed that you reached me from like a mile away while we're both teaching classes. Thanks, man. Stay up.
Gotta keep you on your toes. All right, yeah, like that. Hey, back a little bit this way to kill that unibrow. Okay. All right.
You're not tethered, right?
I am. Okay. Mysterious. When I was in college, like this would have been like, oh man, that's a movie poster. That's because I only own one light. But now I own two lights. I don't own any of them. They're sets.
When you were in college, that the movies were all black and white, right?
That's true. That's true. No, Wizard of Oz became color. In the...
Audio is a new thing in the movies.
It's a talkie.
They used to have an organ player in the
All right. So we have this shot now. And again, here's Marissa in the darkness. That's what I call this one. And what we want to do now is give her a little bit of three-dimensionality. Because again, the image itself overall is low-key technically because it's high contrast, but it's kind of boring. It's like, hey, the side of Marissa's face is lit up. Oh, I have a video dish. Don't even ask me how much it costs. You know. But here I am over here with my little softbox. And this softbox is going to add dimensionality by bringing light in from a different direction. When you bring things in from different directions at different exposures, plus obviously the background, you create this like depth of light, right? Because that's how the world is. When we look around the space, you're really bright, you're a little bit darker, you're a little bit brighter, you're darker, it's bright back there. That's how the world is, right? So if we want our portraits, even though it's just in a studio, to feel like they're real, that they have depth to them, we have to use light in a different way, not just a giant softbox all the time. Sometimes that works. Come to my giant softbox demo next week. And remember that anything that any of these demos say, any demo you go to, not just mine, but certainly mine, because I can talk for myself, we're just showing you how to do something that you can use sometime for something that you want to work on. Like I might say, oh, I'm like a giant softbox, but there's times where using a giant softbox is the way to do it. Knowing what each thing does and why it works that way is the key to being able to craft your style. Right, Marissa? Marissa told me that. Yeah. Yes. All right, so we have this light back here. And in demo tradition, we're going to turn off the key light, which is this guy here. We're going to turn this one on. So we're just exposing with the one light, just to see where it falls. Okay. All right. So now you go into Photoshop and you put these two together and you're done. No. So now we have this dramatic, oh, that's kind of a silhouette. Kind of, right? I said I wasn't doing a silhouette.
You do that light every day.
I know I do. They don't know that. All right, they don't know. All right, I'm gonna turn the front light back on. Now in theory, when you fire both these lights, it's gonna look good. It's gonna be like, oh, look at this. But it's not. It's not gonna be perfect because as you add additional lights to your set, you have to rethink the lights you already have there. Because each light you add changes the way you feel about the first light. So we'll take this shot. Of course, if it's perfect, just forget I said that. Okay, see, it's not perfect. She's too far to the side, right? I'm blaming her, but I moved the light. So she's fine, but now we're just gonna work her. This is where the modeling lights can be useful. I'll turn the modeling light on. Oh, it's already on? Okay, so let's have you go here. No, move you physically this way up and then face. Good. There, up, down, circles. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Okay. Here. Okay. Right, so now I kind of like this, but I don't love how dark it is on that side of her face. So we can do and also the exposure is not correct, but I'm just saying positioning the light. So first of all, I can deal with this. That's my mom calling, sorry. I can deal with this obviously by changing my exposure. This I can only deal with by either a reflector or changing the position of the light. We don't have a third light, right? I always ask for one more light when I know there's not another one.
You got another light to Eric? Don't, I wish. Still prepared. Can I go to help me with the light? I grabbed it off this split. You want to grab the light or not?
If you can really fast. If not, then I don't want to make a big deal out of it.
Good thing we're in a store, huh?
Yeah. Do all your shoots in a store.
Hey, lighting guys, give me a B10x Plus off of display, please. And make sure there's a lot of fingerprints on it.
Okay.
You'll laugh, but we took a camera off display and there's pretzels in the battery chamber once.
For now, while we're waiting for it, I'm still going to move forward. We're just going to bring this way because this might actually solve at least part of our issue. Anyways, bring your face this way more. We're shooting Marissa's bad side too, by the way. She's hating. Oh no, her good side. It's the side that Marissa says is her good side, which I don't like. So I always shoot the other side because I'm mean. Okay. So you can see that by moving the light back, we kind of lose that drama. That's why I think we don't want to, that's why we need an extra light. It's not always just like, hey, I want an extra light because I get paid more, because obviously that is part of it. But just moving the light back to give light on her face, and now we have this split light that I'm not loving, right? So I like where it is, or was. And actually, do you think we can pull this off with the Brooklyn? Maybe. Oh, here we go. Look at that. Let's try a board first.
Round of applause for the Profoto guys, everybody. Profoto guy.
What are we rocking?
Do you guys not have one of these
13?
in your kit? Do you not have?
This C.
13C?
Yep. You're 13, right? Here? Or are you 3? Yeah, 13.
Do
Okay.
you need me to hold it? What would you like me to do? Put it on a stand?
No, we got plenty of stands.
Yeah, let me put it on stand, unless you want to be on the... First, we're going to try to use a bounce.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. We're going to make you stand there awkwardly for a minute. Yep. Yeah, I'll just put it on low stand, yeah, just because it's in front. Thank you.
What do you want to do?
All right, let's try a bounce first. All right, nope, no, that one's black. Extra fingerprints, all right. Oh, look, this one has a little star in it.
Yeah, that was from you.
That's really cute. Oh, I did that?
Yeah, you messed up my board.
All right, we'll use this one.
What do you want to do?
This one's got a star in it. It's important when you're creating your boards to decorate them appropriately. No, so first we're gonna try to bounce in and see if that's gonna work for us. Yes, no, maybe, we're not sure. We'll see. I can actually take advantage of both of these lights when I do this. Not this light, but this light and this light. Because when I'm bouncing, I'm sorry, I don't want to shove this in your face. When I'm bouncing the light, yeah, temporarily. Oh, I'll do it from here. Sorry, oh, you did it, that's fine. I'm gonna try to catch the light from the beauty dish and do a little test. Yeah, that'll work. Let's just see what that does. Might not be, oh yeah, that worked. Okay. This is okay. I think the overall exposure is too bright now though. So you see how I bounced in, just in case you forgot, because it took so long with all the, me making jokes and stuff, right? Nothing with a bounce, right? So I think.
A little horror thriller to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's got some style to it. I'm wondering, let me just turn the entire exposure down. And again, I'm in manual now, manual flash, that is. I've always been a manual camera. I'm just gonna turn both flashes down, let's say a third of a stop. Let's say half a stop. So I'm turning down the power a bit because I want my overall exposure to come down, because I think that's part of my problem. As far as stylistically, I think it's a little too bright. Because again, what is the right exposure? Oh, Okay, that didn't really come down at all. Went down. Let's try that again. Okay, going down. Going down. Okay, now we got it. When I turned the remote on and then back off, I actually put it back in TTL. So I wasn't TTL. I was lying the whole time. Okay. Now it's getting darker. Now I want to do it proportionately because I think that the backlight should be brighter than the front light. So this light over here is in my A group. Okay, I need an outbox. I need an outbox or I need to grow. And I think, I stopped growing a long time ago. Sir, oh, it's over there. After I put the thing in your way, sorry. All right, because what I want to do now is start working proportions. In order to make this feel, see how it feels organic, right? It feels a little imperfect. It's good. I just want to be able to see. Nah, I just want to be able to see the top. This is my A group. It's important when you're a photographer, you get an outbox, the first thing you do is you go like this. Oh, that's the black side. All right. Okay. We're working this light down.
It's always going to look like that.
What's that?
It's always going to have that feel to it.
Yeah. It's just darker now. Let's bring the other light in. So we're gonna use an extra light. Why not? I feel like at that point we need to make that light the hair light and make this the key and put it on this side. So we got to put this light over here and that light over there. I know, it's a pain in the butt. What do we have for a modifier? Anything interesting? Oh, we'll use a zoom reflector. Okay, so we're gonna. Marissa, could you walk towards the background for a second? Just so I don't have to go around you, because I'm lazy. All right.
What do you want to swap?
Put that one on that one. Make that the hair light. All right, so I'm putting this on this side because I like the Beauty Dish better as a key light, and really she's looking into it and it's gonna give the main shape for her face. It's kind of not really her key light. In this case, we're kind of making a weird.
If you're going to make this a hair light, I'm going to put it on a regular stand.
Okay, thank you. So that's gonna just swap that to another stand because we're gonna use that to do the hair / kicker from the back. So we're gonna have this mixture of light. We're gonna have a really hard light coming from the back. We're gonna have a softer light coming from the back. And then we're gonna have a kind of medium hard light. We got this Goldilocks light. Write that down. You were here on the day that I created that name. Yeah, that.
It's at 5.
Yeah.
It's in C.
See, perfect, thanks. All right, so here we go. This is a zoom reflector. It's like a Zoom meeting, except it's a light. Ugh. No, that one. Okay, it's not like a Zoom meeting.
I'm going to strike that from the record.
All right, that one's.
It's also set to really wide.
Okay, it's a wide zoom. So this is what we're gonna do. It's in the shot a little bit, but that's okay. Actually, it's not okay because I'm in TTL. If you're in TTL and you put the light, no, you're fine. If you're in TTL and you put the light in the shot, then it's going to affect my exposure because it's gonna be shooting right back into the lens. So I'm just not gonna put it back in TTL. I'm just gonna leave it where it is. You said that's at 4.5. We're gonna do a little bit of, so this one right here is set at 4.5, right, power-wise. Now, not f-stop 4.5, but 4.5 power out of 10. This one is set at 6.7. 2 stops different. This one's in a little tiny metal reflector. This one's being diffused and put through a grid. So they're probably about the same power, right? There's ways to figure this out. Light meters, professional people, but I think it'll work. Oh, sorry, you were blinking, I think. Yeah, there you go. That's pretty good. I mean, not your expression, but power-wise. Okay, this is way too. All right, we're gonna go like this. I know. I said I was doing it. Teresa asked for it. Remember? She asked for it. All right, you look this way, actually. Okay.
I blinked again.
No, you're good. That's actually not bad. Come back towards me a little bit with your face. Right there. Stop. That light's way too harsh. The light in the background's pretty awesome. The light on her face I like now. I'm feathered off. I'm barely touching her with my beauty dish. I'm feeling it. It's coming together. It's got some organicness. What can I do with that light that's in the back that's really harsh? What would make it less harsh? Put it on there.
He's saying get up and
Get up in there and do it.
don't wreck my
Do
diffusion.
not wreck his diffusion.
Let him go through it. Just I've done enough things. I want to go home tonight, Dan. I'll do it. What do you want to do exactly? You want to do the
Bubble it out. Yeah. What's going to happen here a little bit is that some of it's probably going to kick back and touch the background, which is going to be a little imperfect, but you know, it's getting late. I got to get to train. We're doing the best we can. We're creating a little bit of our own.
Take a strip light, man.
We're creating a strip light. Thank you, Seth. All right. Thank you, Seth. All right. Towards me. Stop. Boom. All right. There we go. So you see how... No, I didn't want to do that. I didn't do that. I'm Capture One certified. You see how... Okay, I keep doing... Oh, because I'm hitting Shift and not Control. Command. Okay, you see how they're both kind of lit the same way, but this one has a story, right? It's a punchier. It kind of makes more sense, right? This light right here is complete and controlled. The hair is bright. The side of her face is kind of bright. The only thing I might do here is add a little... Do we have a color gel? A tiny bit of color gel to the one side of her face. Like, let's say a light blue.
I hate you.
You got me sweating here. It's getting old.
You sweating? It is hot.
You don't know people online how sweaty it is.
Because we're on fire.
Perfect. We're on
You
fire.
mounted.
Thank you, sir. All right. This is tricky. It's like rocking a rhyme. That's right on time.
Here, take a flip.
What I'm going to do, this is the question I get a lot. I've never got this question before, but I'll pretend like I get it a lot. Perfect. I didn't get you. Give me two, thank you. This is not the right size. You could either have a photo assistant, just very quickly go like that to cover the whole light where you're shooting. That doesn't work all the time. So, but you know what this light will cover? The back. Oh. I'm being very gentle, even though the sound's really loud. I swear. I should just lower the stand, but you know.
Oh, don't worry. It's a low key one. We won't use so many lights. It's going to be a dark background. It'll be like this.
Anyone who's been here for a while knows that I never know what I'm doing until I start. I got it. I had to lower it a little bit.
I think you're just shrinking.
I think I am shrinking. Actually.
You need apple boxes.
All of a sudden, I can't. I think that versus like you guys are Versa and Seth are gaslighting me. She's wearing heels. He's made the stand slightly taller.
Every time.
Every time, just a little bit more.
That is the feature of a stand, you know? It goes higher.
But that is true. The stands have adjustable height? Since when? All right. Okay, so I think we're back in the same spot. Ooh, that's way more blue than I thought it was going to be.
That's a CTV.
Oh, okay. It looked less blue when I was here. This is too blue. We're not going to worry about it. Imagine if it was just a little bit of blue, but it was...
I hate you so much. You know. That's what I got.
Okay. So when you're using gels, there's different levels of the different colors. Okay, so full CTB changes a flash or daylight to tungsten. All I want is just a hint. Yes. Is that like a pale lavender?
Are you
That's still
kidding
too
me?
much.
What is this? What are you painting what are you painting a nursery?
Okay, no,
Pick
that's good.
whatever yeah,
Okay,
that's
I'll
great.
take.
That's perfect. Man.
This is like a cyan.
You don't want that. I got this. There's the cow thing.
It's good. This is like cyan. It's not exactly what I was looking for. Well, actually, it's a little more like moonlight, right? Because
I just want you to know, I was in Home Depot with him picking paint samples once, and it was as long and tedious as you can imagine. If this is what I go through with gels.
gotta make that art school pay for itself. All right. This is probably still too colorful. That's all right.
She's orange, it's teal. It's that trendy thing, you know?
Yeah. Orange and teal.
Yeah, kids love that. They buy the pre.
Key and peel.
You know? Looks like
What
that
a great
YouTuber you
channel.
like. Yeah.
All right. All right. We'll just delete the rest of that from the video because you guys can just pretend like it didn't happen.
And you in the chat can feel free to hit the dislike button all you want. It's it's
Dude, there's not like a star rating on these. Still too much. All right. And because it's not a
thin gel, bro.
yeah, it's thin. It's too much. Okay, I thought it'd be a little bit less dramatic than that. I was hoping. So we'll just pretend that we stopped here.
Gaslight you first.
But here's the thing. Obviously, if we were doing an actual portrait shoot, I would have shot multiple frames of this, and I will regret this later that I didn't. I mean, I guess I could take the gel back off, but just because you got something, don't stop, right? Work through it, shoot some great exposures, change it up. Work through it, shoot some great exposures, change it up. You know, because we thought maybe a gel would work. Didn't. That's all right. It didn't cost us anything. It's not like we had to send rolls of film to the lab and then find out 3 weeks from now that, all right, 2 hours from now is really what it took. Man, we had a Kodachrome lab when I lived on South Beach. Kodachrome in 2 hours. Yeah. Anyways, let's go back to this. Imagine, if you will, a hint of blue.
Teresa, can we put the AC on?
Okay, so this is back. It's not quite exactly where I wanted it to stay.
Gonna get a little loud, but it'll be worth it.
Yeah, I think so. There we go. Chin up a tiny bit. A little bit less than that, right there. Okay, I want to try one more thing that's going to hate. Forget it. Is it possible without like too much hassle to like make this light here like blue and then I could drag the shutter? Or is that going to not happen? Is it that one that'll hit the side of her face? The middle of the one? Yeah, is that possible?
It's RGB. I can do it.
Yeah. Well, let me turn off the monolights. Yes.
You want it what?
Just absolute blue, because then I'll just drag it in. Yeah. There we go. All right. You can all do this at home, right? So what I'm doing here is,
Using
by
the
the way,
environment, it's fair game. Fair game.
fourth or fifth. I've lost track of demos. I'm charging for all this. Now we're going to blend our ambient light into the shot. They're all perfect. Seth, you are the man. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to look through the camera for you guys. Okay? And I'm going to, now you see it got dark. Because remember, when at my settings, none of the ambient light's affecting the shot, right? Now I'm going to take my shutter speed and dial it down until we start to see a little bit of blue. And by the way, this is going to affect the background a little bit too, but that's okay. It's not perfect. Okay. Now, if I take a shot, so you guys see, she looks electric. Yeah. Tiniest bit of blue. Just the littlest bit, right? You see a little bit of blue, just like that.
Aren't your minds blown? Don't you feel enriched?
Now, I have to leave the modeling lights off. Mercer's gonna come this way like that. Boom. Oh, yeah. A little bit of blue. Now, if I want the blue to come in a little bit more, I have to just turn down the exposure of this rim light back there, which is in my...
So for you in the chat that are confused, the lighting in the event space is RGB.
Yes.
So what he did was we changed the daylight light to blue, only using 2 out of the 5 fixtures. And he's dragging his shutter to use ambient mixed with strobe. So if you're confused about what just changed, that's what he's doing.
So just in case you were going to sit here and remember how I said the Beauty Dish was expensive? Well, if you want 6 LED panels that are this powerful hanging into space, plus the racks and stuff, it's going to be a little expensive. But you get the idea.
They're about $2,000 a panel.
Yeah, so you're okay. All right, I'm just because I'm just gonna come in here and just turn off the B light for a second, which is our background light, or the one on the softbox rather. Okay, so you can see how much blue is there, right? Now, I want that highlight still, so I'm gonna bring the light back on, but I'm just gonna turn it down, I don't know, 2 stops. Because remember, our shadow big, this one here, the softbox in the back, it's strip. Come back towards me, Marissa, and I have to keep doing the same thing over and over. This way, down a little bit right there. There we go. Now you see the blue's a lot more subtle. When I first turned it on, it was cool because we got the blue, but it was just really in her eyes and stuff. But here, we're actually getting it in the side of her face where I wanted it, right? Then again, you could tweak this. We're just kind of messing around. The reality is that in the end, you know, like that shot's probably the best, really, without the color. But you know, I still did it because I like to harass Seth and do different things.
Just a motion with it.
Oh, you want her to move?
Like
You want to shake the camera or you want her to move? Okay. Can you lock into that spot though? Okay. Boom, boom, boom. I have terrible timing. I am not a good sports photographer. I missed that 1,000 times over. We'll see when they come in. The computer's, I don't know, it's thinking. Oh, you're getting a little bit. Are we getting any blur? I mean, it's not that slow of a shutter. Oh yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's not that slow.
Let's you gotta do this. Let's mess with it. Do you guys want to see Daniel do shutter drag? Yeah. Just yell it really loud. Look at that, Dan.
You know, when people yell like that, it becomes Sestevo.
You made me get out of my chair enough that it's half my
shutter
down now.
drag. So I'll cheat a little bit. I'm at a 30th of a second. All right, I'm going down to 1/4 of 1 second. And Marissa's gonna, boom. And with the color and with the expensive equipment, you gotta pretend like it's good. No, it's fine, and shutter drag is fun. So what we did there was we call a pop and blur. I'm not gonna do I'm not great at it, and it would take me a long time to really get a good shot. What we're doing there, so that's really good. What we're doing there is what we call a pop and blur. That is, we have the pop from the flash that freezes, and then the blur of the constant light source. Because remember that the flash will stop the action as long as no ambient light is affecting the shot. As soon as you allow the ambient light to affect the shot, then we introduce blur if the subject's moving. Yes. I am on just regular flash. So if you set it on rear curtain flash, then it's a little bit harder to nail it. Because to do this right, what you want to do is separate the model into 2 zones. One zone that's in the light and one that's not. And then you start with them in the light, they move into I'm talking about the ambient light, move out of the ambient light and then hit them with the flash in the dark area. Does that make sense? So if you did rear curtain, it'd be hard to do that because the flash fires at the end.
Yeah,
so you do it, I said it the opposite. You start at the flash, so I'd have her flash and then move into the ambient. With rear curtain, you'd have to move and then stop in the flash, which is trickier. That's regular flash, thank you.
Yeah, and
so,
this is very simple movements, so you can luck out on this one. But if it was more curated, what Dan's talking about, rear sync is like where you want to be at.
Ready? What I might do in this kind of thing, though, to be more dreamy and not have her all over the place, is what I just did, which is I took the shot with a longer exposure and then I shook the camera. And with this, we get a shot that has sharpness, but kind of this weird glowiness to it. So you could do that too. It's the same kind of technique. That feels like the next demo, I think. I mean, we haven't done this in a while. It's really fun.
It's super trendy right now.
Yeah, well, and it's trendy, so there you go. So I should definitely do it because I'm the most trendy of all. But yeah, let us know if you have any questions, like in the chat, if you're watching this in the future. We can do actually, why don't you do it this Monday?
Why don't I do it? Are you
Well,
kidding?
Every Monday on
palming
Adorama.
off to me? I hate you so much. You know what? You know what?
Every Monday at noon.
So Dan Norton's doing a demo next week where you're going to bring any light source you want, and he's going to use it on the spot. That's going to be Thursday at 5. Everyone just show back up. I don't care. Like,
I would actually do that, but it's not the next Thursday.
apparently.
But seriously, Seth does a demo, live demo every Monday here on the Adorama Events channel, which is the other YouTube channel. And it is more of a Q&A type thing. So I don't know if he'll do a pop and blur. You might be able to.
Now I got to do a pop and blur.
He's really good at it. Me, not so much.
You know, I try to do the laziest demos I can on Mondays,
Nope.
and now you're going to make me.
But this will be something, right? So this is a good question. So if you go to the other channel, you'll see that. And, you know, and if you don't get enough from that, then I will schedule a pop and blur demo where I'll just make Seth do all the work. Because
To,
again, he's
to be
better.
fair, there's 15 years of demos on this channel. There's a bunch of shutter drag that Dan's done here.
Yeah.
So he can do it. I know he can.
I can do it. It's just not my specialty, and I don't want to.
This is the low-key portrait demo that just turned into I don't know what
Yeah.
just happened.
But again, all this stuff adds up to create what I was talking about kind of earlier, the kind of an organicness in your image, right? It's one thing to be like, I'll shoot a model on the black background. Now I have a low key image. It's another thing to build a shot that, you know, actually has some kind of feel where that, well, that's actually not a terrible one, right there. That it feels like there's something going on, right? There's some kind of story going on in the shot. There's depth to it. There's reasons that we have this high contrast, right? It's not just like, boom, it's there. And the same is true the other way if you do a low-key shot. Like, why are we shooting really bright? Or why are we shooting really flat? How does that tell a different story? That's what we want to think of when we do light. Thanks, Seth. Like I said.
Wait,
Hope you guys say
before you go, I just wanted to,
Oh,
the
I was
reason
about
I
to
don't
go
do the
off.
shutter drag on Monday is I'm shooting a stagnant mannequin.
Oh, that's
She
true.
doesn't move. So, like,
That's
you're
true.
killing me, man.
That's also true. We'll need a volunteer.
Whatever.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Anyways, this is Marissa Roper. I'm Daniel Norton. This is Seth Miranda, ex-witness. Make sure you follow Adorama on all the different channels. We have this one here. Lots of great videos all the time. Adorama Events is the new channel, but it's been around for a little bit. Seth does demos every Monday. Plus, there's all kinds of cool people coming on the channel to do demos. Next Wednesday, we have a Coffee with Creators, which is the podcast, the live podcast actually for Adorama, and also a demo with, and of course I forgot the
Michelle Harris.
Michelle Harris, and they're going to do posing, which should be super fun because that's something people ask for a lot. And yeah, so stay tuned and come back next week.
All right. Thank you, guys.